it's Mrs. Peak here again from Mirror Lake Elementary, wearing my Mirror Lake sweatshirt and ready to read another read aloud with you today. I'm super excited to check out this story and to answer some questions along with you. Okay, first graders, it's time for my favorite part of our lesson, our learning target and success criteria. This is my favorite part because our learning target tells us what our goal is for the lesson, what target we want to hit, what things we want to learn, and our success criteria helps us know how we're going to achieve those goals. So I need you to mirror me. That means you can either stand up on your feet and put your hands out in front of you so that they're ready to do all of our movements to help our brain remember the words, or you can sit down nice and cozy like me. You can sit crisscross, you can get in front of your fireplace, or cozy on your couch, wherever you want to be, and follow along. Are you ready? Okay. Mirror. I will listen to the text and answer questions about the story using text evidence. Okay, let's do it one more time and we can do it all together. Ready? Awesome. I will listen to the text and answer questions about the story using text evidence. Awesome job, my friends. Okay, are you ready for our success criteria? Let's do it. Okay, mirror. I can listen to the read aloud. I can answer questions using evidence from the text. I can tell or write my answers with the sentence stem. I think blank because the text says or the picture shows blank. Okay, one more time. I can listen to the read aloud. I can answer questions using evidence from the text. I can tell or write my answers with the sentence stem. I think blank because the text says or the picture shows blank. Great work, friends! You are on fire. We are going to do a high five retell. Did you know that your fingers are really special? So most people have 5 fingers, and each of these 5 fingers represents a different part of the story or a story element. And our thumb represents our characters, so who the people or creatures, important characters are in the story. And then this finger represents the setting. So where does the story take place? Is it in Federal Way? Is it on the moon? Is it on the beach? Is it in a car? Where are our characters? And then what happens in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end? And we can use keywords like first, next, last to retell, or in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end. So while we're watching, I need you to take your magic fingers, right? And if you see some characters, you're going to wiggle your thumb. If you see the setting, you're going to wiggle your pointer finger. And if you see the beginning, your middle finger. And then if you see what's happening in the middle, so like the bulk of the story where most of the action is happening, you're going to wiggle this finger. And then if you see what happens at the end, you're going to wiggle your pinky finger. And this will help you keep track. So at the end, you can retell the story to someone at home. Are you ready? Okay. So now we're going to read, and I need you to pay really careful attention and think about what you're seeing and what you're hearing so that when I ask you some questions, you'll be ready to answer them. Okay, so Ada Twist Scientist by Andrea Beatty, illustrated by David Roberts. Ada Marie, said not a word till the day she turned 3. She bounced in her crib and looked all around, observing the world, but not making a sound. She learned how to climb and made her big break with a trail of chaos left in her wake. She ran through the day, chasing each sound in sight, and didn't slow down till she conked out at night. That's when you fall asleep and you're like super tired. Nothing will wake you up. You're just completely exhausted. She did lots of exploring, so that would make me pretty tired too. Her parents were frazzled, but tried not to freak, as Ada grew bigger and still did not speak. Clearly, young Ada, with lots in her head, would have something to say when it ought to be said. That's just what happened when Ada turned 3. She tore through the house on a fact-finding spree. She climbed up the clock just as high as she could. Her parents yelled, "Stop!" as all good parents would. Ada's chin quivered, but she did not cry. She took a deep breath, and she simply asked, "Why?" Now, before we get to the next part of the story, I have a question for you. Who are the characters in the story? Did you see any of them? And your sentence starter is, the characters in the story are blank. I think this because the text says, or the pictures show blank. So who are the characters in the story? How do you know? Awesome job. I hope you had the time to write that question down or your response down, or to tell somebody in your family or a friend. Now let's keep reading. Why does it tick and why does it talk? Why don't we call it granddaughter clock? Why are there pointy things stuck to a rose? Why are there hairs up inside of your nose? She started with why and then what, how, and when. By bedtime, she came back to why once again. She drifted to sleep as her dazed parents smiled at the curious thoughts of their curious child, who wanted to know what the world was about. They kissed her and whispered, "You'll figure it out." Ada is full of lots of questions. Her parents kept up with their high-flying kid. Why? What? How? When? Why? What does it do? What is it for? Will it be the same? Why won't it? What if? Why? Will it? When will it? When? What? How soon is now? How can I find out? Why does it? How? Can I? Why? How does it? Whew, those questions and chaos both grew as she did. Even Miss Greer found her hands were quite full when young Ada's chaos wreaked havoc at school. But this much was clear about Miss Ada Twist. She had all the great traits of a great scientist. All right, so I have one more question before we keep reading. Where does the story take place? What's the setting of this story? And here's your sentence starter. The story takes place blank. I think this because the text says, or the pictures show, blank. Awesome work! I hope that you have some time to think about this question and maybe not answer it right away, but hopefully you can answer it after we finish the video. All right. Ada was busy that first day of spring, testing the sounds that make mockingbirds sing, when a horrible stench whacked her right in the nose, a pungent aroma that curled up her toes. A pungent aroma is something that smells really, really bad. Have you ever smelled something really, really bad? Like moldy cheese or stinky garbage or rotten milk? Zowie, said Ada, which got her to thinking. What is the source of that terrible stinking? How does a nose know there's something to smell? And does it still stink if there's no nose to tell? Ada rattled off questions and tapped on her chin. She'd start at the start where she ought to begin. A mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. This was the moment that Ada loved best. Ooh, do you see anything in this picture that could be causing that terrible stink? What do you think is the source of the stink? I'm going to take out my magnifying glass and look really closely. Okay, let's keep reading. Ada did research to learn all she could of smelling and smells, both stinky and good. One hypothesis Ada thought could be true. The terrible stink came from Dad's cabbage stew. She tested and tested, but soon Ada knew it was time to come up with hypothesis 2. A hypothesis is a guess that scientists make about what is the source of a problem. So in Ada's case, her problem is that there's something really stinky, and she's trying to make a guess about what it could be. And then she's going to do all of these experiments to figure out if her hypothesis is correct or incorrect. And if her hypothesis is correct, then she has a theory. If it's incorrect, then she'll have to keep doing more experiments to figure out what is causing the stink. So let's see if her hypothesis is correct, or what her new hypothesis is. Then Zowie, the stink struck again, and just like that. Hypothesis 2, it's caused by the cat. The cat couldn't make that much stink on its own. It needed perfume and some fancy cologne. So young Ada tested. The test was a flop. She started again, but her parents yelled, "Stop!" Whew, thank goodness, we don't want a kitty in the washer. So now I have another question for you. And remember, I want you to use your text evidence. So what is something that you saw in the pictures or read in the text or listened to that I read that can answer your question? And my question is, what were some of the things that Ada Twist tested? And here's your sentence frame. I think Ada tested blank. I think this because the text says or the pictures show blank. Let's look and see. What are some of the things that Ada Twist tested? Oh, I see lots of stuff on this table. There's some really great evidence in this picture. I see a can of tomatoes, onion, cabbage, coffee beans, garlic, cabbage, fish, dead fish, an egg. Ooh, all these things are pretty stinky. And then there's something else that she tested. It's on this page and on this page. So what did she test? All right, now a question for you. Can you think of a stinky object that you would test? What's the stinky object? Go ahead and tell someone in your family or write it down. One stinky object I would test is blank because blank. Great work. All right, now let's keep reading and see if we can figure out what is the source of the stink. Ada Marie, to the thinking chair now by the time we count 3. Enough, said her mother. That's it, said her dad. Her parents were frustrated, frazzled, and mad. Why? Ada questioned. Her mother said no. What? Ada queried. Her father said, go. You've ruined our supper. You've made the cat stink. Enough with your questions. Now sit there and think. She looked at her parents. Her heart turned to goo. Poor Ada Twist didn't know what to do. She sat all alone by herself in the hall, and Ada once more could say nothing at all. And so Ada sat, and she sat, and she sat, and she thought about science and Stu and the cat, and how her experiments made such a big mess. Does it have to be so? Is that part of success? Are messes a problem? And while she was thinking, what was the source of that terrible stinking? Ada Marie did what scientists do. She asked a small question, and then she asked 2. And each of those led her to 3 questions more. And some of those questions resulted in 4. As Ada got thinking, she really dug in. She scribbled her questions and tapped on her chin. She started at why, and then what, how, and when. And at the end of the hall, she reached why once again. Whoa, that is a lot of writing. Her parents calmed down, and they came back to talk. They looked at the hallway and just had to gawk. Oh, no patch of bare paint could be seen on the wall. The thinking chair now was the great thinking hall. They watched their young daughter and sighed as they did. What would they do with this curious kid who wanted to know what the world was about? They smiled and whispered, "We'll figure it out." And that's what they did, because that's what you do when your kid has a passion and a heart that is true. They remade their world. Now they're all in the act of helping young Ada sort fiction from fact. She asked lots of questions. How could she resist? It's all in the heart of a young scientist. And as for that smell, what can Ada Twist do but learn all she can with her friends in grade 2? Will they discover the stink that curls toes? Well, that is the question. And someday, who knows? All right, that is the end of our story. And that brings us to our final question. What was causing the stinking smell? How do you know? And here's your sentence starter. I think blank was causing the stinking smell. I think this because the text says or the picture shows blank. So, what was causing the stinking smell? What's your text evidence? Let's look back. Let's see. I see that they're testing all sorts of things like donuts and broken eggs and Legos and banana peels and onions and flowers and tentacles and maybe quiche and hot dog. But I don't think it's any of those things. Let's look back at all the times that she smelled the stinky smell. Let's see. So here's the first time she smelled the stinky smell. So we know it wasn't the cat, and we know that it wasn't any of these things. Let's see. What's here? What do you see in the picture that might be causing the stinky smell? Let's look ahead and see if there are other pages. Do you see anything on this picture, on this page, that might show what's causing the stinky smell? Is there anything that's the same on this page that's the same on the last page? Oh, I see something on this page that wasn't on the last page. All right, first graders, as we close out this lesson and the second week of our video instruction, I just want to say that I am so proud of you and the way that you're thinking about this work, engaging in it, and working so hard from home. I hope that you enjoyed today's story and that you will go off and do some experiments of your own. And before we say goodbye for today, I just want to go back to our success criteria. So when we look at our success criteria, we can do a really quick self-assessment, and I just want you to keep track of all of the things that you accomplished today during our lesson. So we talked about being able to listen to the read aloud. So go ahead and just give yourself a point if you listened to the read aloud today. That's something great that you accomplished, just engaging in the literature. And then number 2, answer questions using evidence from the text. Go ahead and give yourself another point if you answered questions using evidence from the text. And then a third point, if you told or wrote your answers with the sentence stems that were on the screen. I know that there were a lot of questions today, and I'm so proud of you for doing this work. So go ahead, give yourselves a pat on the back, say, "Good job, me. I am awesome. Woo woo," because you did it. I'm so proud of you, and I'll see you again next week. Bye.
Hi friends, welcome back to first grade math with Mrs. Fernia. Today we're going to be spending some time with calendar, and then we're going to move into number sense. And remember, for number sense today, we're going to be looking at that missing number in word problems. But first we're going to start with our months of the year. Can you find your favorite month? Why is that your favorite month? Thank you. My favorite month would have to be June because it's just starting to get hot and you get to do all these cool things outdoors. Do you remember how many months there are in a year? Yep, there are 12 months in a year. And here are all of our months. Do you know which month we're in right now? Yep, we are in the month of July, and July is right here. All right, we're going to get started on our months of the year song. Here we go. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, and December. These are the months of the year. All right, let's do it again one more time. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, and December. These are the months of the year. Now we're going to do our days of the week. Can you find your favorite day of the week? Can you tell me why it's your favorite day of the week? My favorite day of the week would have to be Saturday. Can you find Saturday? Yep, it's right here. My favorite day of the week is Saturday because I get to spend all day with my family. Do you remember how many days there are in a week? Yep, there are 7 days in a week, and each one of them has the word day. And day for all of them is at the end. All right, we're going to do our Days of the Week song. Here we go. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. Let's do it again. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. There's Sunday and there's Monday, there's Tuesday and there's Wednesday, there's Thursday and there's Friday, and then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. Now we're going to move into our July calendar. We're going to talk about what was yesterday, what's today, and then what's tomorrow. And we're going to also do our patterns with our pink and brown donut. Here we go. Yesterday was Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. Let's go ahead and read it together. Yesterday was Wednesday, July 15th, 2020. Now we're going to talk about today. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020. Let's read it again together. Today is Thursday, July 16th, 2020. And now we're going to talk about, you guessed it, tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Friday, July 17th, 2020. Let's go ahead and read it again. It's that green row right there. Tomorrow will be Friday, July 17th, 2020. Now we're going to move into our patterns. So we're going to try to figure out what donut will come on Thursday, July 16th, or today. What do you think will come here? Do you remember our pattern? Yep, it goes pink, brown, brown. And so far we have a pink, brown, brown. That looks like the pattern is completed. So what do you think will start again here then? Yep, another pink one. Next, we're going to move into our days of summer. And we're doing days of summer because we're not in school anymore. So it's how many days we've been in summer for. Can you see how many days we've been in summer for so far? What number is this right here? Can you say it? Yep, say it again. One more time. What number is this? Yep, it's 32. So if we're going to take that number 32 and write it down, it would look like this: 30 and then 2. Now we're going to take 32 and put it in a 10 frame. Do you know how many tens are in the number 32? Yep, there are 3 tens. We could go like this: 10, 20, 30. 3 tens. So I'm going to bring over 1 10. I'm going to bring over another 10. So 10, 20. I'm going to bring over another 10, 10, 20, 30. But now I need to get to 32. So let's count on from 30. After 30 comes the number 31. After 31 comes the number 32. So in 32, there are 3 tens and 2 ones. That's what our 10 frame looks like right there. Now we're going to talk about, is this number even or odd? What do you think? Yeah, this number is even. Each of those hearts there, they all have a partner. Even though these two hearts are side by side like that, you can still match them up and they all have a partner there. So this number is even. Now we're going to take that number 32 and we're going to show what it looks like with some tens and ones blocks. Do you remember how many tens were in the number 32? Yep, there are 3 tens. I'm going to bring over 1 10. I'm going to bring over another 10. So 10, 20. I'm going to bring over one more 10 for 10, 20, 30. And now I need to get to 32. Do you remember how many ones we had to bring over? Yep, 2 more ones because it would go 31, 32. That's it. So in this number, the 3 means 3 tens, the 2 means 2 ones. Now we're going to take 32 and show what it looks like with a number bond. Do you remember what our whole is here? How many do we have all together? Yep, we have 32 all together. And then what's one part? Yep, one part is 30 because we have 3 tenths. And then the other part is? The other part is 2 because we have 2 ones. And again, this is just one way to show the number 32, but it really brings it down into tens and ones to make that number 32. Now we're going to take that number again, and we're going to talk about what one more would be. So that means we're going to add one more 1 to the number 32. And now, you can see it just flew in right there. Now how many ones do we have? Yeah, can you count them? Yep, there are 3 ones, or the number 3. And then did we do anything with our tens? Nope, our tens are still the same. So we still have 3 tens. So if we put that number together, 30 and 3, that makes the number 33. So 32 and 1 more is the same thing as 33. Now we're going to take 32 again, and we're going to talk about what 1 less would be. So if we take 32 and we take away one of these ones, so that's going to fly away. Now, how many ones do we have? Yep, we have 1 1, or the number 1. Do we do anything to those tens? Nope, our tens are still the same, so we have 3 tens. So then 30 and 1 more together make the number 31. So 32, take away 1, or 1 less, is the same as 31. All right, now we're going to move into number sense. So our learning target for today is, I will solve word problems by counting on. Let's read it together one more time. It says, I will solve word problems by counting on. Can you tell your family how you're going to solve word problems today? Yeah, you're going to solve them by counting on. Let's go ahead and look at our learning target again. It says, I will solve word problems. And remember, a word problem is a story with numbers where you're asked to figure something out. Today, our word problems are going to look like this. There are 8 cats in all, so we know our whole. 5 cats, one part, are sitting underneath trees, and some of them, another part, are sitting up in the trees. So we can take this, where we know that 5 is one part, and some more is another part, and we know that together they make 8, or a total. We can take that and write a number bond with it. So again, 5 is one part, another part over here is missing. We don't know how many cats are sitting up in the tree, but we know that together they make the number 8. And so we can take this number bond that we just made and write one way to add. Do you know what that would look like? Yep, it would be 5 and some more will give me 8. That's what this says. 5 cats here and some more cats sitting up in the tree, we don't know how many, will be the same as 8. And we're going to solve this missing number by counting on. So let's go ahead and practice it. 5, what comes after 5? Yep, the number after 5 is 6. After 6 is 7. After 7 is 8. How many more numbers did we have to add on? Yep, 3 more numbers. So that means our missing part is 3, and our missing number is also 3. And then, do you know how many cats are sitting up in that tree? Yep, there are 3 cats sitting up in that tree. All right, let's go ahead and practice another one. Our word problem is that there are 14 brownies. So yummy. I have 9 brownies, and you have some too. And our question is, how many do you have? Do you know what this problem is about? Yeah, this problem is about how many brownies do you have and figuring out that missing number. How many do you have? Do you know what our important numbers are here? Yep, one important number is that we have 14 as our whole, and that 9 is one part, that I have 9, and that you have some, so you have another part. What can we do with all those numbers there? Yeah, we can make a number bond. Again, where 14 is our whole, 14 is how many brownies are there all together, and 9 and some more are those 2 different parts that when you add them together, we can figure out our whole of 14. All right, now we're going to write one way to add so we can solve that missing number. What's one way to add? Yep, that we take how many brownies you have and we add them together with how many brownies I have, and that will be the same as 14. And remember, we're going to solve this missing number here by counting on. So let's start with 9. After 9 comes the number 10, and then keep going. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Thank you. How many more did we have to add on? Let's go ahead and check that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that what? Yep, our missing number is 5, which means that how many brownies do you have? Yep, you have 5 brownies. So we figured out that when I have 9 brownies and you have 5 brownies, all together we have 14. Let's try another one. Here's our word problem. There are 16 Legos, so 16 in all. You have 11 or one part, and I have some. How many do I have? Can you tell me what this problem is about? Yeah, this problem is about how many Legos do I have? And that missing number. Can you tell me the really important numbers in this problem? Yeah, one really important number is that there are 16 Legos in all, and that 11 is one part, and that how many more, me, is another part. So now what we can do is we can take all of this and put it into a number bond. That's it. Where 16 is our whole, and where 11 and some more, or how many I have, are different parts. Can you tell me one way to add with this number bond? Yeah, one way to add would be that we start with 11, or how many you have, and then we add how many I have, And then together, that's going to be 16. Because we know that when we take your Legos and my Legos, together they make 16. And remember, we're going to figure out that missing number, this missing number here, by counting on. So let's go ahead again. Start with 11. What comes after 11? Yep, 12. After 12 is 13. Keep going. 14 and 15 and 16. That's it. Now, how many more numbers do we have to add on? Let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers, which means that our missing number is 5. And that also means how many Legos do I have? Yep, I have 5. So we figured out that when you have 11 and I have 5, together we have 16. So this is the end of our time together. Today we practiced solving word problems by counting on. And remember, word problems could look like this, where you know the total or the whole, and you know one part, but you don't know the other part. And so to figure out that missing part, you could put all your numbers into a number bond, where you have your total and your parts, and then you could use that number bond to write a math equation that could look like this. And then you could solve this missing number by counting on. So in this case, you could think about all the numbers that come after 5 up until 8. So after 5 comes the number 6, and then 7 and 8, and that's 3 numbers, which means that your missing number or your missing part would also be 3, which also tells you in this case that there were 3 cats sitting up in the tree. All right, so this is something you could be practicing at home with your family too. They could be writing out some word problems for you, or you could be writing your own, and then you could be trying to solve these missing parts by counting on. You could also just be writing these math equations here where there's that missing part or that missing added, and you practiced solving it by counting on. All right, I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.
clase, ¿cómo están? Vamos a aprender muchas cosas hoy. Vamos a practicar cómo usar un enlace numérico y una familia de números. Y también vamos a escuchar una historia con lo que pueden practicar con los números en la historia. ¿Listos? Comencemos con el calendario. Hay 12 meses en el año. ¿Quién puede recordar todos los meses en el año? Vamos a ver. Enero, febrero, marzo, abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Estos son los meses del año. Hoy es miércoles. Hoy es 7/16/2020. Aquí estamos. Hoy. Hoy es jueves. Ayer fue miércoles y mañana será viernes. Hoy en el patrón tenemos un sol. El sol. ¿Qué fue ayer? ¿Dijiste arco iris? Sí, fue un arco iris. Vamos a ver el patrón. Sol, sol, arco iris. 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 Sol. ¿Y qué será mañana? Es una sorpresa. Y el número 16 es nuestro número del día. 16. ¿Cuántas decenas hay en 16? Una decena. Un grupo de 10. Mira, hay 10 bloques en un palo de 10 decenas. ¿Y cuántas unidades? 6 unidades. Una manera de mostrar 16 es con la tabla de 10. Con 10 en uno y 6 en la otra tabla. Otra manera es usar el enlace numérico. Vamos a usar el enlace numérico en la lección de hoy, con 2 números y cuando unir los números van a un número, hacen un número y es más grande que los dos porque están sumando los números juntos. Y el número 16 es par o impar. ¿Todos tienen un amigo, los bloques? Sí, es par porque todos tienen amigos. ¿Qué es uno más que 16 y qué es uno menos que 16? Uno más, brincamos de aquí hasta aquí, 17. Y uno menos es atrás, es 15. Empezamos algo nuevo hoy, sentido numérico con parejas que hacen 10, como hemos practicado toda la semana. Grupos, números que hacen 10. Voy a mostrarles un papel con una foto y van a decirme qué va en la línea. ¿Qué falta? ¿Qué número falta en la ecuación? ¿Listos? Uno más. ¿Dijiste 9? Sí, tienes razón. Sí, dijiste 9 porque hay 9 fichas blancas. 5 más. 5 es igual a 10. Muy bien. 7 más. 3. Muy bien. 6 más. 4. ¿Dijiste 4? 4 más. 6. 6 más. 4. Y 7 más. 3. 3 fichas blancas. Muy bien. Ahora empezamos con nuestra lección de hoy y una nueva meta. Mi meta de hoy es: podré hacer una familia. Podré hacer una familia de números para ver la relación entre números en una ecuación. Lo que significa es, vamos a construir un enlace numérico, aquí, number bonds, y también vamos a poner todos los números en una familia de números. Tengo una pregunta aquí. Lean conmigo. Bug, mi perito, mi mascota, Bug tenía 12 huesos, pero luego se comió algunos. Le quedaban 5. ¿Cuántos comió ella? ¿Cuántos comió ella? Ahora sabemos que 12 es el número más grande. Tenía 12 huesos y se comió algunos, pero no sabemos cuántos. Y ahora hay 5. 5 huesos. ¿Cuántos comió ella? ¿Cómo vamos a encontrar el número aquí? Voy a contar así, voy a contar en mi línea numérica desde 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aquí es 7, el número 7. Es la diferencia, entonces 5 es la diferencia, porque mira, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 es la diferencia entre 7 y 12. Ahora sé que 12 menos 7 es igual a 5. Tenemos nuestros números. Y de aquí puedo hacer una familia numérica. Familia de números. Mis números son 12, 7 y 5, porque había 12 huesos y se comió 7 y ahora hay 5. Mi ecuación de la otra pantalla fue 12 menos 7 es igual a 5. Ahora puedo cambiar el orden y todavía 12 menos 5 es igual a 7. Y si ponemos juntos los números aquí, 5 y 7, ¿qué es mi respuesta? Es 12. Muy bien, porque es una familia de números. Y ahora ves, 7 más 5 es igual a 12. Es la relación entre los números. Ahora es tiempo para una historia que tengo. Si quieren leerlo conmigo, está bien. A Ana le encanta hornear. Se vienen 8 de sus amigas. Ella hornea 8 pastelitos. Luego, ella hornea 6 más. ¿Cuántos tiene en total? Otra vez. A Ana le encanta hornear. Se vienen 8 de sus amigas. Ella hornea 8 pastelitos. Luego, ella hornea 6 más. ¿Cuántos tiene en total? ¿Qué piensan, chicos? ¿Qué puedo hacer? Sí, puedo poner, porque ella hornea 8 primero, voy a poner 8 aquí. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Y luego ella hornea 6 más. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ahora, mira, como hemos practicado, tengo una decena, 10 más, ¿cuántas unidades? 1, 2, 3, 4. ¿Cuántos tiene en total ahora? Sí, 14. Ella hornea 14 pastelitos. ¿Qué pasaría si ella horneaba 6 para ella primero y 8 para sus amigas después? Vamos a ver. Si ella hornea 6 primero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, y luego 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ¿cuántos hornea ella? Todavía 14, ¿verdad? Porque podemos contar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Mira, no importa el orden. 8 más 6 es igual a 14 y 6 más 8 también es igual a 14. No importa cuando cómo ponemos los números. 8 más 6 es igual a 6 más 8. Son ambos iguales, pero los números están cambiados. Ambos son iguales a 14. Ahora, Ana tuvo hambre, tuvo mucho hambre y comió 6 pastelitos antes de que llegaran sus amigos. ¿Cuántos quedan? Ahora ya sabemos que ella cocinó tiene 14 pastelitos, pero se comió 6. Entonces restamos 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ¿Cuántos hay? 8, como antes. Muy bien. ¿Y qué es mi ecuación? Empezó con 14 y quito 6 porque se comió 6. Y ahora, ¿cuántos pastelitos hay? 8. Muy bien, excelente. Y sí, una pregunta más. Si Ana no tenía hambre y dejaba que sus amigos comieran sus pastelitos primero, ¿cuántos quedan? Ella tenía 14 al principio y si ella no tenía hambre y dejaba que sus amigas comieran sus pastelitos primero, ¿cuántos quedan? Vamos a ver, quitamos 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. ¿Cuántos quedan? 6. Muy bien, es 6. Porque antes había 14. Una parte es 6. ¿Y qué va aquí? Si mis números son 14, 6 y 8, ¿qué va aquí? Es 8. 8, porque quitamos 8. Quitamos 8, ahora tenemos 6. Y en mi enlace numérico tengo 3 números. Mira, con esta historia hemos creado una familia de números compuesta de 3 números, 2 sumas y 2 restas. Así es como están relacionados. ¿Podemos poner todos los números juntos, los 3? A ver, empezamos con 8. 8 más 6. 8 más 6 es igual a ¿qué? 14, ¿sí? Y al revés, 6 más 8 es igual a 14. Y para mis restas, tenemos 14 menos 6 es igual a 8 y 14 menos 8 es igual a 6. Es una familia de números. Todos van juntos en una manera. Ahora, chicos, hemos practicado cómo hacer una familia de números para ver la relación entre números en una ecuación. Pueden practicar esta meta en casa con cartas. Puedes escoger números y hacer una casa como así. Pueden usar como fichas, si tienen juegos como dominos, y también pueden dibujar o escribir los números en un cuaderno. Tienes muchas opciones y espero que tengan un buen fin de semana y nos vemos muy pronto. Adiós, chicos.